Hello, 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 and welcome back to some Dawnbringer Tarot today again with your host Carmilla. And here we are with our week ahead reading. So these are so fun for me. Like they're just like I just love sitting here and connecting with spirit and delivering these readings. So as always, super excited about today, and let's get into our collective message before we get into our general reading. So our week ahead reading, our week ahead energies, energies that we'll be embodying this week, or even if they're unconscious, a lot of times too, we'll see what we are working with. So I'm feeling some intensity in my spine, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this week feels like it's pretty heavy on like the upgrades, the downloads, the embodying, the moving. There's just a lot of cleansing, a lot of clearing, and it kind of feels tight. My spine and my heart space feel really sore from working and stuff like that. So it's really exciting, really. But I just keep hearing clean, clear, and under control, which is really funny. But that is kind of the energy that it seems like we're working with this week. So I'm going to show off some of the cards as well. But really our collective message this week is we are all stepping so far outside of our comfort zones. It is crazy. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're all facing our true north. We are facing our true north collectively. And we are upgrading ourselves spiritually and in every sense of the way. So that's all across the board. So we're upgrading our bodies, our emotional bodies, our physical bodies. Everything is subject to changing into this upgrading that is happening, this evolution. So it's happening to all of us to some degree. So it's a really, really beautiful thing what we're feeling and what we're working with. I just feel like the presence of angels and our guides, our ancestors, ascended masters, they're all extremely, extremely close at this time, just kind of monitoring, reviewing, making sure that we are in alignment. You know, they're helping us. They're right along with us because we're aligning with their wiring, right? And we're also aligning with their higher knowing, their higher knowledge, and our higher selves, because what we're doing is embodying our higher selves physically. So this is taking a lot of energy out of us. So if you feel kind of drained or sore or tired this week, that's probably some of the energy that you're working with. So we're doing a lot of collaborating with spirit, a lot of collaborating with our higher selves, higher knowing, and really just moving and pushing this energy through and through. It's a very, very good feeling. So what I'm going to do is show you the cards that we have today. So we have the Cosmic Dancers with Collaborate today. And then the top deck also too is Be Ecstatic. So I want you to know that I felt immediately like be excited about all the changings, all the upgrading that's happening, because Collaborate really is a card to me, especially paired with some of the other cards that we have today. This is really saying that we are upgrading and we are communicating with our higher selves, and just working it all out, figuring it all out, putting us in proper alignment, proper positioning, things like that, releasing and letting go of a lot of layers, you know, kind of dying to that old way of self. Our Moonology card this week, so we have Step Out of Your Comfort Zone with the North Node, of course, and then also top deck. For some reason, top decks want to speak today, and we had Full Moon in Virgo with You Are Enough. So it makes total sense. You're facing your true north. You are enough. And again, I said this in a couple other videos. The basis of abundance consciousness, the beginning, the very beginning of abundance consciousness starts with one line: I am enough. Once you understand that, that is abundance consciousness. So stepping outside of our comfort zones, which we're doing, all of humanity is doing. Not a single soul is free from what is happening currently. And then our Law of My Aunt, or our Amenti Oracle, we have I Converse with Awareness, of course, because right now we're communicating with spirit extremely, extremely closely. It is amazing how close we are right now in our awareness, in our human awareness, how close we are to spirit. It's a very, very beautiful thing. And then with our Mother Earth mandalas, we have exploration. So collectively, again, for some reason, this is reminding me of the, what is that? I'm not going to remember, but you know, like when two cells are coming together to create a baby or something like that. This is what it looks like to me. So this is just us coming into union with our higher selves, our higher knowing, and exploring the world through there. We're exploring our true essence, our true knowing, and who we are as true beings, as entities, and not just a finite human being. You're an infinite being experiencing a finite life. So it's a really beautiful thing that's happening as we're embodying all of these higher self energies. And then lastly, we actually had a blank this week for our power animal of the week. And all I see is just pure essence. I see nothing but pure essence and pure awareness, just like a third eye here in the medicine wheel. And that's just spirit coming through with a confirmation of I am here. You are embodying my energy, and you're beginning to know yourself as me, as spirit, as the observer, as the creator. You're beginning to understand yourself as the creator of your reality, which is a really beautiful thing. And that's what we're all coming into. Because once we understand that we are the creators of our reality, we understand how we are collaborating and co-creating this existence together. And we understand better how to move forward as human beings, as our finite selves, to a more healthy way of being for all, compassionate, love, forgiving way for everyone, for every human being. So it's a beautiful energy that we have. We're literally conversing with ourselves, right? You know, this is what this reminds me of. Those twists in horror movies, right? Where there's like this war vet or something like that, where they go out and they're being chased by some evil, monster or whatever. And then at the end of the movie, we find out that the monster was them the whole entire time. This is that energy where we're all submitting and surrendering to spirit, but then at the end of the tunnel we understand that we were spirit calling to ourselves the entire time. So this is what energy that we're embodying. This is what we're doing, which is really funny. So let's hop into our general readings for today. We have 4 piles, and on pile 1 we have our desert rose. And on pile 2, we have our Shugnai, or like our lava stone. I think that's the name, but I can't remember. But it is like some form of a lava stone. And then on pile 3, we have our spotted jasper. And then on pile 4, we have our soda light. So really excited about our readings today. So do whatever you need to do in order to get in the mood for your reading. And I, my friend, will see you there. Group 1, hello. For all of our friends who chose the Desert Rose, this will be your reading for today. So, oracle cards aside per usual, and let's see what's going on for you this week. You have Lizard, so I did not expect this. This is so funny. Wow. This Lizard came out last week. So, I feel like Lizard is saying again, just to reiterate, that it's so funny. Lizard's like the energy of Lizard is shouting, like you are shedding, you are becoming anew, you're becoming different. Like it's to be understood that the experience that you're undergoing is supernatural, in nature. It's not something that your brain will agree to logically. This is a healthy time for you to really listen to your intuition and respond to your body. Your brain is going to do its best to lead you astray, because what your brain is going to do is try and stick within its patterns, because that's what the brain is designed to do. The brain is an extremely beautiful, powerful tool. However, it has been wounded and bruised to the point to where we have a lot of internalized self-hatred that likes to get in our way, because it feeds on our inadequacy. And this inadequacy feeds our egos, and our egos deflate and inflate depending on the threat to its survival. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm seeing is this lizard. You know that lizard that like walks on water, and like when it gets mad, it kind of like puffs out its neck like that. That's the lizard that I'm seeing, because in that lizard is representing your ego. the ego is a beautiful thing. And what we're learning to do, and you specifically, group one, is learning how to heal your ego, have a healthy relationship with your ego. This is about bridging the polarity between your ego, because what you're doing is stepping into your highest authority. You are understanding that your ego does not have the final say. What your ego says does not go. You still, at the end of the day, can take responsibility and make a different choice. It is extremely and increasingly important for you to understand that and kind of get that through your brain waves. That's why it right now, I would say, it's really important for you to really watch your words and analyze the way you talk to yourself and the way that you think. It is extremely important for you to be careful about the way that you think about yourself and others. Especially just this week. I just feel like this week is going to, this energy is, it's running its course in a deep way. So if your brain is swaying negatively and saying all these terrible things about you or about other people, you have to make the choice to say, no, I understand what you're feeling and I understand that you are hurt, but let's talk about what hurt you and why you're hurt, besides becoming a bully, besides becoming going into attack mode, besides wanting to attack. Because what your body is sensing when it's super aligned with ego, which we all have not, we are all aligned with ego to a certain extent. What happens is when you're aligned to ego, what happens in the body is it perceives things as judgment, as rejection, as a threat to its survival. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really important for you to understand that judgment and rejection and these very, very human things are not a threat to your survival. And the reason why they feel like they're a threat to your survival is because they're painful. And the reason why they're painful is because it is resonating with a deep sense of inadequacy, of a lack consciousness that is present within your own body. You see what I'm saying? So it's really increasingly important for you to understand that you are undergoing a beautiful process. Do not be so attached to the outcomes, because you're overcoming a lot of things at one time, and you're going to get to the other side of this and laugh, because it's so beautiful on the other side of this. It really is. You're going to get exactly what it is that you're wanting. The abundance, the support, the friends, the romantic relationships, whatever it is that you've already manifested and put in the cards. You're getting on the other side of this process. But what you're doing right now is allowing this to be a process. You see what I'm saying? Like, I really want you to feel me on this, because the energy is here and it's being very, very adamant about you understanding your placement. You think that you're just being lazy and you think that you're just not doing good enough, but that is not the case. You're going above and beyond what is being asked of you of spirit. And it's really important for you to understand that what spirit is saying to you is more important than your linear life. You as a human being, it's more important. This, at the end of the day, even though we feel everything within it, it is a dream state. It is an illusion. And that's something that I personally resist when I think about it as well. However, that is not, I'm not saying this to devalue the human experience, okay? I'm not saying this to devalue people who are not on this frequency yet. You know, I'm not saying this to devalue people who we should be expressing compassion for, who we should be helping, people who are impoverished, people who are in third world countries, who are in war-torn countries and stuff like that. I'm not saying this to devalue them. I'm saying this to do the exact opposite. When you know who you are and you really hone in on this energy, you are integrating this energy for the entire collective, for humanity. And it's something that we've done over and over again throughout history. Look at history. History is a beautiful marker of this happening over and over and over again as we evolved. Look at the way we've evolved as human beings, okay? Like the answers and the confirmation is all around you all the time. So it's really important to understand that you're evolving and you're shedding a very thick layer of skin, okay? a lot of this was guarding your true radiance, your true luminosity, your true power. And what you're doing is uncovering that, which is no easy task. So again, group one, you are shedding, okay? Take a deep breath and go easy on yourself. The universe right now wants you to believe in magic. The universe right now wants you to believe in manifestation. The universe right now wants you to believe in miracles. Why? Because you are a miracle. Because you are a gift. Because you are a manifestation of someone's dreams. Okay? So it's really important for you. Like you are someone who is going to be working with magic. You're going to deliver miracles. And you already have. You're a gift. You know, you are going to be delivering miracles. You are going to show the world that magic exists. You know what I'm saying? So in order for you to get to that point in which you can deliver it through your being, you have to allow it to exist through your being. You have to allow yourself to receive it. So let the universe wow you with this experience. You don't have to go back to white knuckling. You don't have to go back to doing things you don't want to do. You don't have to go back to things that feel out of alignment. You don't have to. You're choosing to because you are impatient. Okay? So it's really important for you to like hone in on that energy this week. So that is your power animal message from Lizard. Lizard's being very adamant about that, the energy overall. And I feel like Lizard is just like an aspect of you that's like changing, shifting, learning itself. So we have the Three of Pentacles flying out in reverse. We also have the, yep, that makes total sense. Yep. So we have the Knight of Cups in reverse for the overall frequency of this energy, because you are afraid to receive. And then we have the Nine of Wands. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. And we also have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So what this energy is telling me is just reiterating what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to have your defenses up. What you're actually doing is healing. What you're actually doing is shedding from these really, really old defenses. You're already as confident and as beautiful and as compassionate as you need to be. Those are not things that you need to ask for. What you're afraid of is you're afraid of receiving. You're afraid of waiting because you're so incredibly afraid of disappointment. This is why we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Because a lot of times the Three of Pentacles talks about collaboration, working with others, collaborating on something, making something happen with others. That's exactly what you're doing. But the reason why it's in reverse is because you have a fear of disappointment. Because a lot of times in your life, when you waited on people or you've worked with other people, it seems like things didn't turn out the way in which you wanted them to turn out. But you have to understand is what you have to understand here is that you're aligning with a very, very rich frequency, which is your own self, which is home, which is your own luminosity, your own radiance. And Spirit is going to bring into your life what it is that you are reflecting. Okay, what it is that you feel inside, what it is that you're needing. If you need someone to teach you another lesson about codependency or suffering or guilt or shame, guess what? Spirit is going to bring that person into your life so to help with your clearing. You know, if you need to learn a new lesson about anger, Spirit is going to bring a person into your life or a situation into your life to show you how you manage anger, to show you where you can improve. And it's like the beautiful thing about this is because you know what you're needing. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you ask Spirit for more confidence, well, guess what? Spirit is going to put you in situations in which you're going to have to be confident and you're going to have to use it. You're going to have to set boundaries. You're going to have to speak up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? People are going to challenge you and test you because you're building confidence. if you ask Spirit for strength and all these different things, you know, like you're going to get situations in your life that are going to help you build that. But what you're trying to do, and what I see you doing, is you're trying to build from an abundance place. You're trying to build from your true divine value. And in order for you to do that, you need to understand that everything you're experiencing right now is supposed to be happening. It is what is happening for a purpose. You're not going crazy. You're evolving. You're not going crazy. Spirit has you protected, because what Spirit is doing is leading you to your true value. You see what I'm saying? It's really, really over here with the Knight of Cups is. The Knight of Cups is mainly in reverse here because you have a fear of receiving, you have a fear of healing, and you have a fear of people coming into your life because you have a fear of disappointment. You feel like people are going to come into your life and they're going to mess it up, or they're going to be worse than before, and you're going to be like, I should have just stuck to the past people that I had. And you have a fear that they're just like, you just have a fear that it's not going to be better, and you just have this fear that Spirit doesn't know what Spirit is doing. And that's because there's a piece of you who knows yourself as a creator as well. You know yourself as a creator. You do group one. You might not want to believe it fully because you're afraid, but you know to a certain extent you are co-creating this experience. You are the creator of this experience for your own highest good. You know that. So that is why you have this fear of like Spirit not knowing what it's doing, because you're taking responsibility for, you know, how your life has been unfolding and how you have been responding to situations in your life. But it's really important for you to understand you're upgrading, and a lot of the things that you experienced in the past, they're done. You're not going to experience anymore. And there's a lot of beautiful healing that's going to come into your life. But I want you to know that this healing is going to come through other people. Okay, this healing is actually going to come through your connections, your friendships, your relationships, people that you love and people that you know, your family and things like that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we have the Queen of Pentacles here, and we also have this Nine of Wands here, which sometimes the Nine of Wands can represent like putting up defenses. And sometimes we have this really misconstrued idea of we don't really know the difference between defenses and boundaries, which I'm going to make a video about, because I feel like it's really important to kind of break down the difference between what a boundary is and what being, you know, a defensive is. So I think it's really important to have a conversation about that. But what you're doing is you're realizing how beautifully webbed we all are, and how connected we all are, and how magical the world really is. Okay, like you're really, really understanding how magical the world really is. I really, really want you to kind of like sit with that. The world is magical. You are magical. And you're just afraid of seeing that magic play out because you've dealt with disappointment in so many different ways. And the beautiful thing about that is that you've been alchemizing this energy of disappointment so that you remove so much value from the future and you bring the future to the present. And that's what you're doing, because the only reason we are disappointed is because we expected one thing to happen in the future and it did not. But the beautiful thing about this is if you allow the situations in your life to teach you and to grant you wisdom and to watch you unfold, you're actually going to get exactly what it is that you wanted and needed, plus more. It may not look exactly how you thought it would look, and who cares? That's just your brain creating, you know, the look from whatever resources that it already has. But you're actually going to receive a lot more than what you're expecting. And it's going to be of the highest quality because of the work that you're doing. So please understand that what you're doing right now is you're cleaning, you're cleansing, and you're getting everything under control. You're evolving to a higher space, to a more expanded frequency. That's what you're doing. And you're really, really releasing and letting go of a lot of things that no longer serve you. And through these experiences that you're having, that's exactly what is happening. And some of these experiences are deep, they're heavy, they're tough, but they are cleansing you. And some of the, it's some of the most beautiful purging and cleansing I've ever seen. You're in a purification process. And it's a very, very beautiful thing. So it's really, really important for you to hone in on that and open up to receive as well, because it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be what you're thinking. It's not going to be, it's not going to align with the limited view of your mind. Your mind is not the highest authority anymore. You've already surrendered your highest authority to your highest authority. And that is what you're embodying right now. And that's why you're in such a deep period of transition and change. So it's really, really important for you to understand that, group one. I really hope you integrate that fully and deeply and really, get that going. So let's see your oracle cards for this week. So this is your Mother Earth Mandala. Let me actually get the book because I really like the little excerpts out of the book that they have for these cards. I feel like they just do the cards so much justice. They're so beautifully done. So this week, your Mother Earth Mandala is Amazon with number 35, and I love that. I love that with these cards as well, plus a lizard. Oh, lizard is number 36, and you have number 35. That's cool. So let's go to the book and read Amazon. This vibrant mandala carries the voice of freedom of the Amazons. Wherever you are, do not let anyone define or shape who you are except your own heart. Believe in yourself just enough to be authentic and show your true colors. Your freedom, dreams, and potentials are your gifts to Earth and humanity as a warrior of light. It is not necessarily about starting a revolution, but most likely about living in harmony with your deepest aspirations. We are all a unique piece of the puzzle in the giant picture of life, so let the colors mix and match, even if sometimes they splash. And look at that, that's on page 44. That's on page 44. Sorry if it's being weird about the focus. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just clarifying every single thing that we just said. It is literally saying the exact thing that we just said. You're literally cleaning and clearing so that you can live from your deepest radiance, from your deepest truth. I am not lying to you. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes it's really hard to watch tarot readings and stuff like that because you're like, oh, I don't believe it, or this or that doesn't resonate, or this and that is too much or too scary to handle at this time. But you're gonna receive it when you're ready. You're gonna receive it when you're ready. But I'm not lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm picking up on this energy pretty easily because it's true, and you know it's true. It's just getting used to the points where you believe, and hopefully you already do. So your law of Ma'at this week is I relate in peace. That is so funny. So the same cards are coming out this week as they did last week, which is really interesting. So you have I relate in peace. Just add a little extra peace into your life this week. Just sit in the peace of that everything is under control. Everything is under control. And I do apologize for the music outside, but everything is under control. And then your Moonology card for this week, we have the energy is gaining momentum with waxing moon. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, you've already arrived. Like, the energy is already there. You're already in your highest alignment. All you're doing is unfolding into it and allowing the shedding process to complete and take you there. That's all you're doing. So really it's just about opening up and to receive. And how you open up to receive is you be kinder to yourself, be nicer to yourself, and honor this process for what it really is. You're not just someone who's lazy and doesn't want to work or doesn't want to do anything or doesn't want to blah 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 with life. You're above those human societal norms. And when I say above, I don't mean, oh, you're better than, so blah blah blah. It means that you realize that you are more than just that. You're more than just a human being working and slaving for money, but you're an entity who has picked up on its natural design, and you want to live via that natural design. That's what you're doing. That is the energy that is gaining momentum. And our last card we have this week with your Cosmic Dancers is Give Birth, which is a beautiful, beautiful card. And I love how you have Give Birth paired with the Queen of Pentacles, because that is exactly what you're doing. You're giving birth to that new life that you've been incubating, that new life that you have been expecting, that shedding process that you've been undergoing. It's all giving birth to you. It's all giving birth to the new you and the life that you want to live. It truly is. It truly is. So if you needed any confirmation about what you've been going through for the past year or so, this is what what it is. What you have been doing is you've been coming into alignment with your true self and giving birth to that and shedding all that does not align with that, which is a very, very painful and tragic process, because you're shedding layers and layers of your identity in which you thought were you. And this identity allowed you to relate to your friends and to your family and to other people that you thought, you would spend the rest of your life with or whatever, and that ends up not being the case as you have grown, as you have expounded, and as you have become this new you. You are like a newborn baby. You have fresh energy all around you. You are shedding. This is a shedding process. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you and congratulations to you for giving birth to this new you. Now it's just time to open up. Open up and receive, you know what I'm saying? Open up and receive. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy, group 1. Thank you so much for coming to this reading. I hope this message helps you to some level, to some degree. I really, really hope it is of service to you, because it's a beautiful message, and it is very it's very, very strong, like adamant energy. So, I hope you enjoyed my energy and my vibe. And I'll see you next time, group 1. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, group 2. For all of our friends who chose the lava stone, this will be your week ahead reading. So let's get into it. You have butterfly. So these are literally all the same cards from last week. That is funny. Oh wow. And it's upright now. You see that? It's upright. Ooh, let's see. That is hilarious. How we have all these cards in these decks and these same cards come out. Let's pick up on what butterfly is saying to you. Yep. Honor and respect the cycles. Honor that you are changing. Honor that this is a change that you're undergoing. Have more respect for it as a change and not as something that is just all in your head. So this energy came up with group 1, and it's coming up with you too, but it's coming up in a way like it's coming through a little more strongly on the respect aspect. I feel like if you are lacking in any shape or form when it comes to this energy, it's you're lacking respect. You don't have a lot of respect for what's ongoing, mainly because you feel so attached to your human, or you feel so attached to what you should be doing humanly. I'm a human, so I have to do it this way. I have to do it that way. I have to limit. And what spirit wants you to do is to learn how to live limitlessly and also fearlessly. What you're doing is learning how to live fearlessly, limitlessly. What it's really important to understand that a butterfly cannot be freed from the outside from its cocoon. A butterfly has to struggle from the inside within its cocoon in order to produce proper amount of blood flow to its wings so that it is strong enough and able to fly. This is what you're undergoing. This is what you're experiencing. So all the pain and the suffering and the grief that you're working with inside in these deep levels of discomfort is you producing momentum in order to fly, which is funny because that momentum card actually came out in group 1, and it's like on the tail end of this energy. So that's what we're saying here. What you're doing, what you're experiencing is a production of a new self, which is not an easy energy. And you're doing this in a huge way. This isn't only about reinventing yourself. This isn't about going out and dyeing your hair because you just had a bad breakup. This isn't about getting a new job because you want more money. This is reinventing yourself as an entity. This is taking every atom that you had and stirring it up and literally ripping yourself apart and ripping away of what no longer serves you. Everything that does not serve you or the frequency that you're aligning with is dissolving. It is dissolving, and that can feel very painful. It can feel like something is just eating away at you. It can feel like you're just in a bottle of acid. You know what I'm saying? It can be an extremely painful process. And the reason being is because you are shedding layers from your unhealed ego, and you're healing your ego in the sense that a healed ego knows how to submit and surrender to its highest authority. Your ego is mainly how you operate and navigate through the human realm. You don't necessarily need your ego. It is just part of the thing, it's part of your makeup. It is there. It's not necessarily like a necessity, and nothing necessarily is a necessity, but the importance of your ego is helping you decide what you do and what you do not want to experience. That is what the ego does. It inflates and it deflates depending on the situations it is put in, and depending on how it relates to its survival. If it feels like it cannot survive the next challenge or whatever it's facing, it will deflate. Or it will over exaggerate in order to scare its prey, whatever it's doing. Or if it feels like it can overly achieve something, it will inflate greatly and even boast in order to prove its dominance, in order to feel good about itself. Why? Because an unhealed ego feeds on inadequacy. An unhealed ego is the essence of not being good enough. The essence of lack consciousness is I am not good enough. I am not capable. Okay, the very essence of lack consciousness is I am not good enough. That's all it is. The essence of abundance consciousness is I am good enough. And this is not about being overly modest or allowing people to take advantage of you or allowing people to walk all over you, and not wanting to receive money for your services, or not wanting to charge people and not wanting to do this and not wanting to do that. This is not that. That has nothing to do with your ego. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't have anything to do with this process. The ego is something that we use in order to determine what is pleasant and what is unpleasant. And right now, that understanding of what is pleasant and what is unpleasant is misconstrued based on conditioning. Okay, it is based on conditioning, it is based on victimhood, it is based on your experiences and your trauma and the pain that you have suffered through in life. That's why in group 1 I said I will be making a video pretty soon about the difference between defense mechanisms and boundaries, because there is a difference. One typically stems from a healthy place and one typically stems from an unhealthy place, and it's really important for us to dig through that and see where we are getting the resources or the materials to build our boundaries. Okay, so for you, group 2 is really important for you to understand that what you're currently experiencing in your life is helping you prepare the way for you to burst out of the cocoon. It is helping you to change. It is helping you to evolve. It is helping to teach you lessons. And again, I'm going to say this in every POW. You hold a lot of magic. You hold a lot of power. We all do. And what Spirit is wanting you to realize is that you, in order for that power, that magic, those miracles, those blessings to work through you, you have to believe that they can. And you have to believe that these same things can happen to you. It's really, really important for you to hone in on that, because that is what you're building. That's what you're experiencing. This is not about white knuckling it. This is not about doing it the hard way or trying to prove that you can do it the hard way. You mastered suffering. You've mastered the fact that you can do things the hard way. You've mastered the fact that things can be hard and challenging, and you can surmount and surmount and surmount and surmount again until you're blue in the face. You've done that. You've done that beautifully, years after years after years, lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. You don't have to prove that to the world, to Mother Earth, to the universe, to any of your guides or ancestors. They've done it too. You know what I'm saying? They've all done it too. So you don't have to prove anything, group 2. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. This is you understanding that you are literally going from one state of being to an entire new state of being, and you're jumping so many frequencies. It's like you're going from here all the way over here. It's a lot that you're doing. It's a lot that you're surmounting, and it's really important for you to understand that and have respect for it. Appreciate, find joy in what you're going through. That is the biggest thing, is to find joy in the change and the transition, the literal metamorphosis you're undergoing. Exactly. I literally have the Two of Wands out here with a baby, you know, like this. It's literally what's happening. You're changing, you're transitioning, and it's beautiful because you're literally already there. You're literally already there. Then you have the Ace of Wands coming out. It's just like, you honor this cycle of your life, really, because it's preparing you. And it has been preparing you. It has been preparing you. You know, you're just going from one state of being to a whole nother. And it's so funny how same cards came out from last week. That is crazy. That is so crazy. And we have the Emperor in reverse, because you're loosening your grip on control. In bottom deck, we have look at bottom deck, group 2. It's a star. It's a star. Of course it's the star. Of course it's the star. Of course it's the star. Why would it be anything else? Why would it be anything else, group 2? You literally have the star out here for your overall frequency. And the star came out last week for I think the star may have I think the star came out for another group, but star was definitely present in these energies. It's just like, again, you're going from one state of being to another, and you're doing that all while being a human being. Not while being a human being, but staying in the same body. Let's put it that way. Because a lot of times, you know, in order for humans to achieve what you're achieving, they die. You know, they physically die. You know, like a lot of times. You know, you're experiencing a very, very deep evolutionary, like, ascension through healing. That is what you're experiencing. And it does feel like death. It does feel like you're dying. Because in essence, you are dying. You are dying. And it's important for you to get comfortable with that. You are dying. Not physically. Because if you were dying physically, you would have done that already. Because what you're experiencing in your body is you're experiencing what it feels like to die while being alive. And what that means is you are loosening your grip, and you're loosening your addiction to, you're healing your addiction to a reality that does not serve you. And that reality is the one that we've all been born into. We've all been based in, because you're evolving past that, because you see that there's something new. There's a new world here for you to water, for you to create, for you to offer your guidance to. That is what is happening. Your leadership is found elsewhere. It's found there. It's not found in this particular setup. What you have to provide is it's a future essence. It's a future you. It's a future knowing, something that you've experienced. The future you has already experienced and embodied and has gone through, and you're bringing it back to bring everybody else with you. That's what you're doing, group 2. So it's really important for you to understand that. I just feel like you've already experienced your future, and you already know. It's like you've already experienced it in your highest vision, and you already know how it's going to play out. What you're doing is you're just making sure that you're not getting there alone. because it's just like the energies of our normal, mundane, social, human, structure, that those are just not the energies that you're playing into. You're not playing into, oh, I have to work really, really hard in order to do XYZ, or, it was hard for everybody else, so and it was hard for me, so it has to be hard for everybody else, or it was hard for everybody else, so it has to be hard for me. That's not what you're doing. Spirit is saying, spread your love and fly. Spread your wings and fly. Fly, 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 because you have the ability to do so, and you're going to bring everybody with you. Again, it's one of those understandings that the energies that you are experiencing, you are grounding for all of humanity, not just for yourself. You are a gift. What you're doing is a gift to us all. What you're experiencing is a gift to us all. We all feel what you're doing collectively. Okay, and we all feel what you're doing collectively. I just feel like truly this baby is also the star. Like it's same energy. It's like you're giving birth and you're just like kind of at that phase now where you're like kind of stumbling, trying to figure it all out. But this is what you eventually become. And this is kind of the transitional phase that you're in. And I feel like the Ace of Wands is out here to remind you of how deep and how rooted you are, the wisdom that you hold. And it's just like your magic expands all bounds. It's not limited to our normal human reality, the way that we view trees, how they're just so wise and they've been here for years and years and years, just soaking up so much of the world and of the earth. That's how I feel about you too, group 2. Like you as a soul essence. And I feel like what you're doing is honoring yourself as the emperor by actually surrendering to your highest authority, actually surrendering to the emperor that is within you and loosening your control. Like you don't have to hold on so tightly to your crown. You don't have to protect it per se, while rather you can sit on your throne confidently and know that everything that you're producing through you, you can offer to others, and you don't have to protect it, or you don't have to have fear of it. You don't have to have fear of it being stolen. You don't have to have this fear of I have to control this, I have to control that, I have to make sure everything goes my way to where I get to where I go, so that I get to where I'm going. It's important for you to understand that you're going to get to where you're going regardless. You're really healing this deep masculine wound that we all have, and that is outside of gender, but within your own body. This ability to do. Now you're understanding how to be. You've already mastered the patriarchy. You already mastered that. We went through all that for a purpose, for a reasoning, to awaken our divine masculine and to heal it. And to figure out, how do we give, how do we order, how do we control, how do we put things into proper placement. That is what you're healing for the better. You're healing your ego for the better, so that you can move now into really receiving and understanding the flow of what happens when you're open both to giving and receiving at the same time. You're really opening up to the magic of the universe, really, 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 in a huge way. Opening up to the magic of the universe and understanding that the universe is changing you for that, so that you can root and ground these energies into the hearts of every human being. You're doing a lot of heart work, a lot of heart movement, a lot of heart healing. I'm feeling from this Ace of Wands, and that's because you're rooting that like in this earth. Like your toroidal field is really clearing and really cleansing, and it's something that people pick up on energetically, and it's so much outside of what you think superficially, like, oh, the looks and blah 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 blah. It's your frequency. It is literally your energy. It is literally your frequency, and you feel like a breath of fresh air, group 2. So it's really, really important for you to understand that you are changing, you have changed, and all you're experiencing this all for a purpose. You're experiencing this purposely, so that you can further move out of these old dominating energy and more into community, more into receivership, more into giving and gifting in a way that is reciprocal, in a way that from a place of abundance, not from a place of lacking. So it's a really beautiful energy that you're doing, you know, like you're like a butterfly. The butterfly just gives beauty wherever it goes, you know. When you see a butterfly, you're like, oh wow, it's so beautiful. And it's just what the butterfly does naturally. You know, the butterfly doesn't have to wake up like, oh, I gotta change my wing color today so I look more beautiful, or I have to look like that, or I have to fly this way or flutter that way to look beautiful. It's just the butterfly just exists, and it gives gifts to us because it exists. You know what I'm saying? And that's because it received its metamorphosis. It trusted its metamorphosis, and it trusted what it had to give to the world. And that's exactly what you're doing. Just spread your love and just fly. So your oracle cards this week, let's get into it. So your Mother Earth Mandala for this week, we have Nautical Star. Of course you have Nautical Star. So let's go into the book and read the little excerpt for Nautical Star. The nautical star is the light guiding you through the dark and reviving the pure essence of the ocean within your heart and soul. The golden spiral releases all the stagnant energies to carry you in the transcendent dance of life. Just like clear water, your entire being becomes translucent and free when you feel its energy. When you think you are lost, visualize the nautical star guiding you toward your realization. Know that what you are destined for will always find a way to reach you. The awareness that you are connected to the universe at all times will lead you to a life full of wonders and synchronicities. Believe in the magic of the stars and use it to live your dreams, not dream your life. Ooh, believe in the magic of the stars and use it to live your dreams, not dream your life. I love that. I love that. I love that so much. And again, just summing up what we were already saying. And you literally have the star out here, so it makes complete sense. Just summing up exactly what we were already saying. And then your law of Ma'at this week, we have, I follow my inner guidance, of course, because you are facing your true north. Really, really important for you to understand that. Follow your guidance. Just keep going and follow your guidance, because it's trust where you're headed, because you're going exactly where you need to be going. You're heading exactly where you need to be going for your truth and for your glory, and for you to really reach the sweetest part of your true self. And then our Moonology card for this week, we have Be Bold and Make the First Move with Cardinal Moon. It's beautiful energy, of course. Take that lead. Know yourself as your highest authority, and trust that you're going to get there. You know, trust. Leap and the universe will catch you. And your last card for this week, we have our Cosmic Dancers with Be Present. Of course, being present in who you are, and in your essence, in your energy, in your humanity, because you're going places. You are going places. So be present. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, what you're doing is you've already experienced a lot of this future energy. You're bringing it back to the present moment. So I love how we have be present in order to clarify that energy and what we're feeling. So beautiful, beautiful energy we have for you coming through this week, group 2. So it's really cool how the same cards are coming out. It's really crazy. So I really, really hope that this resonated. If it did not, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours, right? So, with that said, I really do hope you enjoyed the energy and the vibe of this reading. And I'll catch you next time, group 2. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, group 3. For all of our friends who chose the Spotted Jasper, this will be your reading for this week. So, old cards over here. Let's see. Literally the exact same cards from last week. That is crazy. That is crazy. Mmm. Mmm. So, like, they're giving me, like, a little side message for me. And they're like, oh, Carmela, open up to your own readings. Trust your own readings. Trust that they are for you, too. Let me see what else they're saying for our general group. So it's a similar message as last week, but they're really, really stressing the fact that you're healing, and shedding and clearing and changing and literally transforming in some of the most beautiful ways ever seen within humanity. That's what they're saying. Those are their words. And they really, 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 group 3, want you to understand that, have respect for that, have appreciation for that, but also take care of yourself during this process. Be compassionate towards yourself. In any way, shape, or form this week, or continue in your life moving forward. If you are feeling like you need to bully yourself, offer yourself compassion. Just remind yourself that you are enough. You are enough. If at any moment you feel inadequate, you are enough. And also when it comes to fear, because there's a message about fear coming up as well. When it comes to fear, it's really important to allow fear to wash over you and not actually trap you. You have a tendency to allow fear to trap you and pin you down. And what is really important is you will actually heal your relationship to fear if you allow fear to actually be kind of like a quick jolt of energy, like a washing over, like you feel it in the waves and you don't actually attach yourself to it. Because what fear does when you swim away from it is like a current. If you're swimming away from it, it pulls at you harder and quicker and faster, and it consumes you, it drowns you. And if you actually swim towards the fear with trust and with a reliance on your own courage and on your own bravery and your own power, you'll truly understand what is happening in your own life, which will help you better embrace the kind of the shadowy parts of your life and the uncertainty and kind of those dark spots in your life that you can't see beyond the veil. You're like, what's happening? Like, why is this happening to me? What is happening in my life? How am I changing? What is this progress? Really, I feel like you'll feel the most progress if you actually swim. They're saying swim toward fear. Swim toward fear. And what they mean by that is not allowing fear to engulf you. Actually standing up to fear and then allowing fear to like wash over your body, not allowing fear to be your highest authority, not allowing fear to dictate what you do, what you believe you can and cannot do. I feel like for you, group 3, you allow fear to dictate your life. And what spirit is doing is trying to get you out of that level of consciousness or that way of operating. Like you're operating at a level in which fear, you're like, oh, I want to do this, and fear is just like, no, you don't. And it brings up all these these issues and all these inadequacies and all these but what ifs, and you're like, you know what, fear, you have a good point, I'm not going to do it, because you agree, you begin to agree with the fear. And I think that, and I truly feel that if you align differently and you choose differently, you don't align so deeply with the fear, you feel the fear and you do it anyway, I think that the world is really going to open up for you. And the reason why I'm saying I think is because what you're doing is getting it through your mind, you're getting it through your mental space. For some reason you have, not for some reason, you allow yourself to get trapped by fear and the what ifs, and you give off a really strong 8 of Swords energy with this links in reverse, which we had last week, and it does not want me to flip it. I'm like, when can I flip this energy? When can I turn this right side up? And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is negative, that it's reversed. It just means that you allow yourself to be very, very pinned by fear. So think about something that you would do if fear wasn't a factor. If fear wasn't, oh, I would change jobs if fear wasn't a factor, because you have your laundry list of fears. Like, okay, if I do this, then X, Y, Z, 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 X. You know what I'm saying? And they're all fears. They're all reasons why you can't. They're all reasons why you shouldn't do. Now, it is important, obviously, to take care of your body, to make sure you are listening truly to your intuition. Okay, and this is the group in which I want to bring up this message about intuition. The difference between your intuition and your mind is going to sway you towards patterns habitual patterns that you've already done, things that you can do logically with reasoning, and like it's gonna your brain is always going to try to have you take the safe route or what it deems is safe. You see what I'm saying? So there's sometimes where, even this is like a personal example, where I'm driving and I'm like, ooh, I want to take a scenic route, and my brain will literally say, we can't take the scenic route because what if you miss a turn? You don't know the lights that are there. You don't know the stop signs. You don't know that street. You don't know the speed limits. Like, it's literally, sometimes the fear will come up, and it will be that, that inflamed. That is the word. It'll be that inflamed. Because it's so afraid of doing things differently, because it feels like everything is such a threat to its survival. And the reason why we're experiencing that so deeply right now is because this fear, this inadequacy part of us, our unhealed ego, is dying so that it can be reborn in a healed state. That is why we're feeling all these anxieties, these depressions, this deep sense of paranoia and things like that. That is why we're feeling it so deeply. That is part of the reason why our mental health is being so greatly affected right now, because of the energies that we're receiving and how deeply they're challenging our human or mental knowing. Okay, so that is not to invalidate what you're experiencing, and that is not to invalidate your life and what you're experiencing, and to say, oh, you don't need this, and oh, you don't need that. That is not a part of this conversation at all. This is just pointing out that everything does have a spiritual correspondence, and a lot of what we're experiencing right now is due to our evolution, how we are evolving spiritually, and how that is affecting us mentally. Okay. So with that being said, it's really important for you to know that the difference between your brain and your intuition is that your brain is always typically going to sway you negatively. Your brain is typically going to take you into fear. Your brain is typically going to say, if you don't do this, then what if? Your brain is typically going to try to get you to go down patterns that it knows or it has deemed are safe because you've tried them before and have made them through. Unfortunately, the brain does not have a good indicator of what codependency is. It does not have a good indicator of what being taken advantage of is. It does not have a good indicator of when it has trapped itself within a comfort zone and it is too small for what it is living. It fears stretching out, and it fears experiencing new things because it fears for its own survival. Now, your intuition does not care. Your intuition does not care about survival, because that is not on your intuition's mind, because your intuition is not connected to a mind per se. Your intuition is connected to spirit, and spirit does not see pain and harm and death and survival the way that human beings see these things. We see them a lot differently than spirit, because we are the ones who experience the pain and the death and the hurt and the harm. We experience it differently because we have a different experience or a different perspective rather, than spirit. So it is really important to know that sometimes your intuition, not sometimes, a lot of the times, your intuition will tell you to trust and have faith and take that leap and to do the thing that you want to do, and you know that you want to do, and you know that you should be doing. Intuition will say, do it because it is aligned. Do it because it's the calling of your soul. Do it through the fear, even if you are afraid. And you know what? Because you're afraid, you should do it so you can challenge the fear itself, so that you can swim towards the fear. A lot of times, intuition actually swims towards fear. Okay? Because what your intuition is doing is trying to clear you and heal you of your innate hysteria. Your intuition is trying to get you out of your head, and it's trying to get you out of this idea that every twist and turn is going to end in tragedy or some type of, big explosion or death or something scary. Now, that is not to invalidate the fact that we do have those experiences in our lives. We do see that happen to people. We absolutely do. We have every right to feel scared and to feel afraid. However, trusting your intuition is going to be the best way to get you to where you're going. And a lot of times when you trust our intuition, it ends up being all right. The majority of the time, it ends up being all right. So it's really important for you to get real about what your fears are, you know, and what it is in this life that you want to be doing, and to move forward from there. Because the purpose of this life is to experience it. It's not to keep you stagnant. It's not to keep you in fear. It's not to keep you in survival mode where you're just constantly scared of everything. It's not the purpose of life. Your purpose of life, and actually, you know, I take that back. That could be the purpose of someone's incarnation. I will say that. However, the purpose of your incarnation, if you're watching this reading, group 3, is to surmount that. It is to surmount your relationship with fear. It is actually to put fear in its proper placement. Fear is to be used as fuel. Fear is to be used as something to help you shed layers. Obviously, being cautious, of course. If you feel like, your intuition will always tell you, your gut instinct will always tell you, hey, I'm in this situation, this doesn't feel right, something has to change. And it does it on all levels. It does that when you're in a sticky situation, you know, outside of your home, inside of your house, inside of your own body, relationships, work, whatever it is, your intuition will always point you in the right direction. It will always point you in the right direction. If your intuition is saying, listen, I don't know about this, something don't feel right, trust it. If your intuition is like, ooh, I really feel like I should do this thing today. I don't know why. I feel like I should go to this place. I feel like I should call this person. I should message them. I feel like I should try this food. If you just have this weird nagging feeling that you can't fully actually explain, but you know it's there, and you're like, I don't know why I feel this, but like I literally have to do this, do it. Just do it. Just do it. And allow it to lead you to proper sequencing. Allow it to lead you to proper sequencing. And this is just going off the back too of last week's message of, when it comes to your intuition, there's just a level of uncertainty that you're just going to have to embrace. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to know how it's all going to play out until it's unfolding, until you see it manifest in your natural life. You see what I'm saying? When you trust your intuition and you're guided by trust, you don't have to know everything. When you're walking by faith, you don't have to know everything. You just do. You just do it because you know and you trust where you're heading, and you know that it's taking you to higher placement, to proper positioning. Now, this is not talking so much about blind faith as in lacking compassion for a marginalized group of people because your deity said so or something like that. This is not that. If that is you in your incarnation, and that is where you feel comfortable and that is how you operate, by all means, I'm not trying to change that. But what I am saying is, have faith in yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust where it is leading you. It is not going to steer you wrong. It is really, really important for you to see that. It's funny because in group 2, we actually got the card, follow your inner guidance. And again, on the tail ends of these energies, trust your intuition, but understand that it's simply a level of uncertainty that you're going to have to trust when you respond to your intuition, which, when it comes to the brain, that's why we prefer the brain a lot, right? Because it takes us to XYZ routes. It's like, oh, this route is clear. I've already done this. I already know how to get there. It's easy. I've driven to this store before, and I've driven back home. I know exactly how to do it. I know the lights. I know the stoplight. It's the control thing coming back into play. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to your mind thinks that because it has seen it all, it has done it all, that there is no uncertainty, when clearly we see in everyday life that there is uncertainty. Because it is easy for you to go outside, hop in your car, and something happens to your car, snap, the tire pops, or this chain. There's always a level of uncertainty that your brain believes that it doesn't have to prepare for. So the beautiful thing about intuition is, when you trust and you live through your authentic self and your own intuition and what you know is true for you and your own true knowing, you don't have to prepare for the uncertainty. You embrace it and you allow it to unfold in front of you. And whatever comes your way, you trust your future self to respond. That is what you're doing. That is what you're learning. That is what you're integrating. Group 3. So it's so funny how the same cards came out. So funny how the same cards came out. Just for proper messaging. For proper messaging. So we have the Six of Cups, of course. We have the Seven of Swords, of course, which came out with that reading last time. And then we have the Hermit in reverse. And bottom deck we have the Observer. So of course, which the Observer being justice. So, and I just love so much how I'm saying, trust your intuition. There's a level of uncertainty that you're just going to have to trust. Would you see this? He's blindfolded, but he sees everything. And he may not be able to see through these eyes, but he sees through these eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's just trusting the energy, trusting the world, trusting your ability to respond in the future. Trust your highest knowing. Trust your highest knowing. Trust that you're going to get there. Trust your highest knowing. Again, there's just a level of uncertainty you're simply just going to have to embrace on this journey as you trust your highest knowing and your intuition. Again, these cards are just coming out to reiterate that. And also what I'm seeing here too is with the Six of Cups, there's like a divine guidance or like divine like ceremony or some type of coming together with like soul tribe, soulmate energies or something like that that you're being led to, that you're being guided to. I'm also feeling that from the Hermit as well, like you're being guided to your proper placement. And it's funny because it's like when you trust your intuition, you get everything that you wanted plus more. It's like when you do the thing that feels right, when you do the thing that feels true to you, you get not only what you needed, but you get exactly what you wanted in the first place. It's like, just be honest and do it. Just say it. Just speak up. If you feel pressed to say something or to move or to whatever it is, simply do it. Just speak the truth. Just honor it. Just honor what is happening for you so that you can get out of this deep level of self-deception that you have. You keep trying to tell yourself that you're crazy, and you keep trying to tell yourself that you don't know what you're doing, and that is a bold-faced lie. It is, and you're causing yourself a lot of suffering. With this Six of Cups card, I feel so strongly, I guarantee every single thing that you want is aligned for you. It is completely aligned for you. Everything that you're needing, everything that you're wanting, Spirit literally wants to gift to you. Do you see these arms like outstretched? It's like, here, we have everything that you need. I'm honestly feeling that. Everything that you need is just getting past this level of self-deception and allowing this journey to just moving forward on this journey. Honestly, moving forward on this journey. And trusting this inner healing that's happening and kind of branching out and stepping out of your shell in the outer too. You know, I feel like this is you actually doing the outer transforming, the outer transitioning, because now it's time. You know, faith without work is dead. You know, so this is you like stepping into like embracing the uncertainty, but also honoring and doing what is true for you. You know, if your intuition is saying, hey, this is what we got to do, it's like, hey, and that's just what we got to do. That's just what we have to do. I'm feeling that so strongly for this group. Honestly, group 3, this is about trusting your intuition and embracing some level of uncertainty, because you keep trying to teeter the fence with this Seven of Swords, like, oh, maybe I'm just crazy, maybe I just don't know anything, and that's a complete lie. Literally have 2 majors out here, because this is transforming huge for you, and you're going exactly where you need to be going, exactly where it is that you need to be going. And it's all up to you to allow, I don't know why they're saying allow that honorance, or that honoring of your true knowing and what's true for you. And I know that's scary. It's scary. But, man, the one thing I will say, group 3, is just trust where you're going, trust where you're heading, and trust your highest knowing, trust your intuition. If your intuition, literally, I cannot stress this enough. If your intuition is saying, yo, we got to do this, I would say do it. If your intuition is like, chill on that for a little bit, chill on it. because this is about timing, and this is about being in proper placement, proper alignment. That's exactly what you're learning, and that's exactly what you're doing all this clearing energy for. So let's get into your oracle cards and see what they have to say about this energy. So your Mother Earth Mandala, we have Fruit of Life with number 24. All right, so let's read from the book what we have for Fruit of Life, which is same energy as Six of Cups, by the way. Definitely the same energy. I feel that so strongly. Oh, and it's on page 33. Look, it's on page 33. We've been getting the angel numbers from this book a lot today. The Fruit of Life is a portal to a higher dimension through a conscious evolution. This card has appeared to help you embrace life to the fullest while growing projects in consciousness. Step away from the collective mind and beliefs that the journey needs to be painful for the lessons to be learned. If it's meant to be, things should go smoothly. Just like a ripening fruit, you are naturally programmed to become the best version of you. By bringing your ideas to fruition with joy and fun, you will open up the path of a fulfilling existence. Obstacles don't necessarily mean you are going the wrong direction. They often are a gift to make you grow and draw upon your hidden resources in order to reaffirm your vision and determination. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love how that summed that up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Obstacles don't necessarily mean you're going in the wrong direction. That's what I kind of want to reiterate for you. That's the same energy we were picking up on earlier when I was like, swim towards fear. Allow it to wash over you. Don't kind of go away from it, you know. And again, like swimming towards fear probably has nothing to do with you actually running into that fear. More than likely, it's just an irrational one. You know, it's not about, oh, I'm going to swim towards fear and everything is going to be tragic and horrible and this is just going to suck. You know, like, no, it doesn't have to be that either. And I just feel like if there's anything that you take away from this, it's the fact that you should definitely trust your intuition. Even if your intuition is like, no, like I need you to relax right now and not work, you know. Whatever it is, trust it. But obstacles don't necessarily mean you're going in the wrong direction. I feel like that'll really help you embrace this level of uncertainty and don't attach yourself to outcomes in a way that become codependent. I feel like that'll also be really helpful to you as well. So, beautiful. And then your law of Ma'at for this week, we have I am forgiving, which is beautiful. I love I love that so much. It's one of my favorite cards. And I feel like that is coming out for the Seven of Swords, that level of self-deception that you have. Because a lot of times what you're doing is you're bracing for impact. You're bracing for the worst because you haven't forgiven yourself for some of the things that you've done in the past. So what you do with the Seven of Swords is you allow it to spiral you into this level of self-deception. And then it's like this hermit energy has to come lead you out. So you're almost trapped in this cycle of the Seven of Swords and the hermit kind of like spiraling, like you being trapped in this level of self-deception, and the hermit like, okay, I gotta come lead you out again. Here's this wisdom, let me lead you out of this. Now leap, you know, as the hermit stands on this ledge. It's like this constant spiral, and the hermit takes you to the end, and the hermit's like, leap, and you're just like, nah, and you just run back inside. You run back inside the spiral. So it's time for you to release your guilt and shame and just forgive yourself, because that is why you feel like the energy moving forward is going to be so scary and so punishing. That's why you're actually afraid of experiencing the fruit of life, because you're expecting some punishment, because you haven't forgiven yourself for the past. And because you haven't forgiven yourself for the past, you're afraid to actually dip into this soul family energy over here, because you fear you're not good enough for them. So that's also something that is coming through with that energy, which is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad that we picked that up with I am forgiving. Let's see your Moonology card for this week. You have a fiery climax approaches. I knew this card was going to come out. This card was like bugging me when literally when I woke up this morning. One of the first things I heard was a fiery climax approaches. Like, okay, cool. So that's funny. So again, trust where you're heading. I think the moon is actually in Aries today, so that's funny. Trust where you're heading. Trust where you're heading. Trust where you're heading. Trust it. And your Cosmic Dancer card, their last but not least, Summon the Rain, of course. So this is about healing, changing your energy, all that you're needing. The replenishment is coming into your life. Your energy is changing. And also, it's number 35, which number 35 to me, for some reason, it's logged in my brain as Spirit has a plan. So anytime I see that number anywhere, I'm always reminded of Spirit has a plan. Spirit has a plan. Spirit has... Oh, that's actually from the Animal Spirits card with the koala. So this is just bringing in all that you need, summoning the rain, summoning the flow, breaking that dam of fear that you built up, and actually swimming toward and swimming out. This is beautiful energy. You don't have to punish yourself. You're in proper alignment. You're in proper placement. It's just time for you to trust that and release this punishing energy that you have as well. Honor the uncertainty, respect it, trust your intuition, trust in your higher knowing, and keep going, friend. That is the best thing I feel like you can do with this energy. So it's really beautiful. I'm so excited. All right. So that is all I have for you this week, group 3. I really hope you enjoyed this message. If it did not resonate, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. So I really do, though, hope you enjoy my energy and the vibe. And I'll see you next time, group 3. Bye-bye. Group 4, hello, hello. For all of our friends who chose the Soda Light, this will be your week ahead reading. So, let's see who you got. And you got the blank. So, exact same lineup from last week, which is hilarious. Ooh, let's see what energies are here today. They're saying you're so sweet and you don't even know it. What I'm seeing is like this heart-shaped sugar cookie for some reason. And it's like broken and it's crumbling and it says the word sweet on it. And for some reason it's feeding like so many ants. It's just, I just see like troops of ants like coming through and like picking up pieces of this sugar cookie and just carrying it off and like, ah, yes. So they're saying that your essence is aligned with that sugar cookie, and what you have to offer, you will offer many, and you just have so much to offer. Um, they're saying that the reason, this is so interesting. I did not think of it this way until they said it. They said that the reason why the sugar cookie is broken is so that it can become whole again. And I'm just like, why would it become whole again? And they're like, through the processing of the ants, eating and building, they're going to use, what they process through that sugar cookie to build their kingdom. They're going to use, like, they're actually showing me like the process of like, recycling through the body, everything returning to the earth, returning to its higher, to its placement, to its alignment. So what they're saying is, they're not saying that you're the sugar cookie as in like you're going to be broken all into pieces in order to feed the world, and you're just going to be sacrificing your body in that way. But what they're actually saying is like you are currently broken into pieces and you're undergoing a process so that you can become whole again. You're recovering soul fragments. You're recovering who you truly are. That's what they're saying. Like you're returning to your nature, to your natural self. And the reason why they were showing the cookie is because they just want you to know how sweet you are and how beautiful you are, and like how what you're learning through this process will feed many, is what they're saying. What you're learning through this process will feed many. It's really important for you to understand that there are a lot of people that want to consume or need actually the medicine, to consume the medicine that you have through this very shamanic healing process that you've undergone. You've walked the poison path, which is not an easy path to walk. Spiritual healing is not beautiful. It sucks, okay? Spiritual paths suck. They are hard, and let me not say that because I need to watch my words. But to just say it realistically as a human being talking to another human being, people glamorize spiritual healing as this like, it's so beautiful and fluffy and I get to speak with aliens and, like not aliens but ETs and my ascended masters and things like that. There are parts, you know, of course, where you're upgrading and things like that are really beautiful and that are really connecting, and you're channeling and you're just feeling the vibe, and it's beautiful when you're seeing things, you know, unfold in real time in your life. It's a beautiful thing. But there are also points in your spiritual healing, which again, let's just put this out there. Spiritual healing is what we're all doing. We're all returning to home. There are just some of us who are a little further from home, depending on how many layers of filters they put on their self. Life itself is spiritual healing, because you are a soul, an infinite being in a finite body, experiencing itself and learning and growing through those experiences. It is seasoning the soul. So every single human being on this planet, whether they're aware of it or not, are undergoing a spiritual healing, cleansing, growing, whatever it is. We're all in spiritual training. However, there are some of us who are here to, who have decided to incarnate here and further the spiritual healing for the masses, for all of humanity, for the collective, for those who may be a little further home than we are. That is okay. The reason why we're here is so that we can embody these energies and go through them, so that we make it easier for others to do so. That is what we're doing. That is the purpose of evolution. That is the purpose of going first. And it's really important for you to respect yourself for going first, because what you're doing is no easy task. It is no small. It is no petty thing. Okay? And it's really important for you to recognize it as such. However, it is to be understood that spiritual healing is not easy all the time. Will it get easier? Of course. As we evolve, it will get easier. As we expand our awareness and our trust, and we give ourselves permission to exist within ease, yes, spiritual healing will be a breeze. However, it is very difficult for an ego-based human fleshy thing that has been abused and that lives in so much trauma, you know, with his identity, to actually get to that ease and comfort. So it's not that it has to be hard in order to learn the lessons. It is that it is naturally hard because of the amounts of shedding and realizing and grief and pain that you're carrying within you. That's why it's hard. It doesn't have to be hard to prove to someone you can heal spiritually. It doesn't have to be hard because that's just how it's supposed to be. It is how it is pretty much naturally, because of the sheer depth and pain of what you're undoing, what you're deconstructing is. There is a lot of pain and grief and trauma and internalized isms and phobias and all these things that we're all deconstructing, that we're all, you know, offering some form of an energy to. You see what I'm saying? So it's really important to understand that this is a process that you're undergoing naturally, and it's a process of healing, and it's a process of overcoming. And what you're doing by going first is understanding that this is something that you can offer. It's something that you can move. It's something that you can teach. It's wisdom. It's wisdom. What you're doing is gaining wisdom. Just like any other, you know, just like a Buddha. You know, just like Buddha. You know, just like any of the other ascended masters. It's really important to understand that this is your mastery. This is part of your mastery. And in many other lifetimes, you've done even harder things in order to realize yourself as a master. And that's what we're all doing. We're all doing that to some degree. Okay, so this is the understanding that this is the same thing as an ascended master, you know, as Amaterasu, as, you know, Lao Tzu, as you know, Yeshua. You know, it's ascended mastery is what they're saying it is. It's ascended mastery. So that is why I didn't bring this up, but this is why there was this energy of like Yeshua here, or Jesus Christ, of the cookie with in the body, like the body being the cookie, and kind of like the sacrificing of that body for the greater good. So this is what you're doing. naturally. Like, you're expecting to be crucified, and what you're trying to do is crucify yourself, but you're already sacrificing enough by the healing process that you're undergoing, the undoing that you're experiencing, because what you're doing is you're opening up to your highest mastery. You're actually opening up to your Christhood while still in a human body, and so that you can actually teach this beauty to other people, so that you can give this gift to other people. So this desire that you have in your body to give and to teach and to actually have a following and things like that, like it's real, because it's something that you've done in past lives. It's something that you've already experienced, you know. And I feel like there is a piece of you where your ego is trying to manipulate you a little bit, and like, I need the validation, I need. You don't need it. You know, the people that you're going to be in service to are going to be natural contributors to the amplification of your own personal validation. So it's important for you to validate your own self, to validate your own true knowing first, not to give someone something and then have them validate how true or how untrue it is. What is true is you come from yourself first. You validate your truth first. They receive it or they do not. That is not for you to determine. That is for them to determine. And you move from there. The people that will service you will validate you in droves. It's really important for you to understand that. This is about ascended mastery. They keep saying that over and over again. Mastery. You are a master. Mastery. You came in this life to master. That's why you feel the way you do. That's why you have the cravings that you have. It is extremely, increasingly important for you to return to your natural state, because you carry a blueprint. You carry something that is extremely important. They're saying it's grave. Like the human experience needs this from you, and you are literally, group 4, the only person that can provide the collective or humanity with whatever the blueprint is that you're holding. You know, this is whatever it is that you're holding in you, whatever it is in your soul essence, your expression that you have, you are the only person that has that. The only one. The only one. So it's really, really important that you allow this experience that you're having, because what you're doing is you're on a path of spiritual mastery. They're saying you're on a path of mastery on all fronts. So physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all of it. You're on a path to mastery. And they're really, really stressing that greatly. Like, really, really, really greatly. I don't know why, but my flower agate wants to be here. Just kind of like, feeling. And it's so funny because the person who gave this to me, her name is Grace, and I love her so much. And when I picked it up, all I felt was just like, grace, grace, grace. Give yourself grace. Breathe in grace. Breathe in mercy. You know, you really have to introduce grace into your life in a way that you've never seen grace before, because what you're doing is huge. You are tapping into your natural state, ascended mastery, your natural radiance, your Christhood, your G center, your God particle. That is what you're doing. You're tapping into that in a huge, huge way. And again, you probably started this journey being like, oh, I just want to manifest, you know, the perfect partner, the house, you know, the perfect life, and I'm just going to have a good life because I healed and I manifested the life that I want, and that's all cool and gravy, and I don't have to worry about life anymore. Wow, were you wrong? Wow, were you wrong? And I'm glad that you were wrong. I'm glad that your ego was wrong, because what you're doing is bridging a huge gap between the illusion of separation and humanity. So we have this illusion that we're separated. There's so much fire coming off of this flower agate. I cannot even begin to tell you how much power is coming from the stone right now. You're bridging a huge gap between the illusions of separation within humanity, and this idea of how separate we are from spirit. Spirit is right there all the time within all of us. We just have all these layers of deception and lies and cruelty and sadness and horror. Yep, there's a horror that is just layered on top of ourselves, and we take this with ourselves and we embody it, and we say, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I can never be spiritual, I can never, we are so used to and so addicted to suffering and disappointment that we've forgotten how divine we are. That's what you're doing. You're like cutting through all of that BS, and you're making a bridge right to that divine peace, right to that divine particle, right to all of our divine selves. That is what you're doing, group 4. That is what you're doing. So it's really important for you to understand, like, you're on a road to mastery, and this is less about having the perfect life and less about, you're going to have that. You're going to have that. Let me just say that. You're going to have an extremely beautiful, abundant life. And I bet my heart on it. I bet my life on it. Slap me in guillotine right now. I bet my life on it. But what you're doing is, like, there's just lessons in mastery that must, absolutely must come with you on this journey. And unfortunately, that means that it is challenging so much of your predetermined identity, and it's challenging so much of the painful parts of you, the trauma, the places in which you want to play victim, the places in which you've been hurt, and the places in which you felt a lot of pain, the places in which you've administered pain. I'm not lying to you, you are on the poison path. Your soul chose a really difficult path to transverse, and has done this lifetime after lifetime after lifetime because it knew the importance of making this bridge, of bridging this gap. It knew the importance of that at this time, and that is this in this lifetime. This is not in your next lifetime. This is not, oh, I'm gonna die in next. No, you prepared many lifetimes for this lifetime, for this day. Okay, so it's really important for you to understand that you have what you have to offer. You will feed many, and your soul decided to walk a very poison path. And when I say poison path, it just decided to walk a path that is that has been increasingly painful, in order for you to rip away and do away with illusions. You're stripping away layers very effectively, very efficiently, and very quickly, a lot quicker than you actually know, or that you actually think. And really, the world is responding to you in the most beautiful ways, and you're just, really, I feel like the world wants to respond to you even more if you honor this process. If you honor this process of healing as what it is, and not just, oh, I'm just some random person who's just in pain all the time, or I'm just this random person who's just doesn't fit in with this world, I'm just the outcast. If you honor yourself as an actual master, and what you're doing is you're on a road to mastery, the world will have a better, like, you open up a healthier line of communication with spirit and with your ascended masters and with yourself and with your higher self. Like, I can feel that so deeply, that transition. If you honor yourself as a master, you can say, I am a master, and this is my road of mastery, this is my path of mastery. It's just like the line of communication becomes a lot clearer. There's less confusion. There's more love. There's more grace. There's more mercy. There's more compassion. It's just everything that you need is there. It's just honoring who you are, which is a master. So I am sorry that channeling went on so long, but it is so true. I bet money on it. I don't even know what else to say. Like, it's just, you are a master. You are a master. You are a master. And then we have the Two of Pentacles shooting out in reverse, of course. You debating, am I a master? Like, that fear, But But I feel like you're doing it in the most beautiful way, especially with the Two of Pentacles out here, because I feel like you are a master. And Two of Pentacles actually does talk about mastery for me a lot of times with the juggling, you know. So that's so funny. Honoring your path. Honoring your path. And the Four of Pentacles, because you're afraid of what you have to offer. And then, of course, the Ten of Cups, because you're going to get exactly what you're wanting. And, of course, the overall frequency of this, because it's for your healing and for your cleansing, is the Five of Swords, with you understanding that you are a master. And the only thing that is blocking you from that is insecurity. The only thing in your way of that is insecurity. The only thing in the way of that is you believing that you have to do things the way of the ego or the way you've already been taught. The only thing blocking that is thinking that you have to play into the antics of this dog-eat-dog world. It's the only thing blocking you. And when I say blocking you, I mean that it is the only thing that you fear. It is your gateway. Your insecurity is your gateway. When you master your insecurity and you own yourself and you take responsibility for what you've come to this world to do, and you know that you are capable and you can achieve it, listen, the world cracks open for you. Literally, the only reason why these Two Pentacle cards are in reverse is because you're afraid of true mastery, and you're afraid of the beautiful blessings within you that you're offering. You're afraid of how world changing it can be, and you're afraid that you know how powerful it is, and you're afraid that if it doesn't change the world, you feel like, oh, then I didn't have anything to offer, or it didn't do anything. But even if that is the case, say I keep seeing this quote everywhere, but say you plant the tree this lifetime and you don't get to sit in the shade, you still did exactly what it is that you need to be doing. However, I know that that's not true. I'm just trying to help you soothe your insecurity, right? I know that that's not true, because you will be sitting in the shade. You will be experiencing the fruits of your labors in this lifetime. You literally have the Ten of Pentacles out here. That is overall fulfillment. That is deep fulfillment. Like, there's nothing about this reading that's telling me that in this lifetime you're going to go unserved, or that you're going to experience, not being able to experience the beauty and the joys of the life of this life, or of your own mastery. That's just not the case. You've just done this for so many lifetimes, and you had plenty of lifetimes in which you did not get to experience the fruit of your labors, and you've planted those trees and did not get to sit under their shade. Spirit is saying, please trust me that this time is different. And Spirit just wants your trust and your forgiveness and your love, and Spirit just wants you to trust. Like, Spirit is like, please just I say this a lot in these readings too. Spirit is saying, please just trust me. Please just trust me. Trust where you're heading. I know this sucks. I know it's hard. Because you have a lot of things, a lot of trauma that you're undergoing, you're working. And Spirit is just saying, please trust me. Please trust me. I got you. Everything is covered. Clear, and under control. Trust what you're offering. Trust your mastery. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Trust where you're heading. You are fine. You do not have to hold on to what it is that you have. You don't have to clutch onto it with dear life. You don't have to do that. Because if you were just relax and allow everything to flow, it will all fall into place. It will all fall into place. Literally, the only thing that's getting in the way of that is your insecurity. Literally, the only thing getting in the way of that is your insecurity. So let's get into your oracle cards and see what they have to say about this energy. So your Mother Earth Mandala for you this week is Halo with number 15. So that, listen, group 4, listen, let's go to the look and see what energies we're picking up from that. The moon has come to you today because there's something you need to say. You have the choice to express your feelings or bury them deep inside. Your body will remind you later that energy transforms but never fades out. Now is a good time to clear your body and your mind to make room for more light. Toxins and stress easily convert into sickness when repressed emotions and unspoken words accumulate. So listen to your body. Take some rest when you need. Drink fluids and let go of dramatic thoughts. Express the ideas that uplift you and let them lead you to a place of love, peace, and health. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like with this insecurity type energy, that inadequacy energy, all it that's literally the only thing that is getting your way. And it is like inside of you, it's like converting into like this fear or this sickness or this weird aversion type thing that you have. You know how like when you eat something you get sick from it, or it like pains you and you're like, oh, I can never touch that again. That's kind of like the energy that you're dabbling in. Like, oh, if I give this to this person, if I give this person this wisdom and they hurt me because they don't receive it well or something like that, or I can never do it again. So that is kind of like what we're dealing with here as well. This is really interesting how we have halo when we talk about someone on the road to mastery. This is really interesting. And also I want to say too, I'm so happy to have this reading after the back end of group 3, because group 3 actually had the Mandala of the fruits of labors, which makes so much sense. It's all aligned. They all intersect and help each other flow or find the flow. So this is about you listening to your body, which is something that group 3 had as well, which is really interesting. Listen to everything that you're experiencing. Trust your highest knowing. Trust where you're going. Trust that spirit is leading you. Trust that you're on the path to mastery. Trust. Let go, let ease. Let go, let ease. I cannot stress that enough for this group. You're on a road to mastery. Like I was saying, you chose the poison path, like we were saying, chose the poison path. And then we have our law of Ma'at with, I speak with sincerity, of course, because you just have a lot to give and a lot to offer the world. And I think it's really important for you to understand that you speak with sincerity. Like, baseline, like it's something that you do. You already do. You do your best and your best is good enough. It's really important for you to really hone in on that and really, really understand that you are already exactly where you need to be. And you're already doing exactly what it is that you need to be doing. And this is all just unfolding. So I speak with sincerity is really important, especially when we talk about this insecurity over here and the way you speak over yourself when it comes to your inadequacy. Watch your words. How I was saying earlier, like I need to watch my words because, they do have a tendency to manifest, and they manifest so that they can challenge our identity, so that they can challenge the pieces in us that are identifying with that, so that they can be loved, healed, released. So I speak with sincerity, making sure that you are compassionate to yourself, offering yourself grace and mercy. Offer yourself grace and mercy and use your words to do so. Even if you're just thinking internally, using your words to do so. And your Moonology card for this week is time to release the negativity. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's time to release negativity because you are on a golden path. Literally. I cannot stress that enough. And then our last card we have for you this week is practice daily. You are on the golden path. Like I was saying, you're on the golden path. Practice that daily. Know that you are on the path to mastery. That's exactly what this is. So, a master, the way you master something is what is it? Practice makes perfect. Practice daily. This is not, it's not necessarily that it's going to come easy, but at least it's coming easy in a sense that you are introducing ease into the collective so that it can come easier to others. And, you shouldn't want it to be hard for others the way that it was for you. So it's a really beautiful energy. What you're doing is practicing daily on this road to mastery. So speaking kindness over yourself. You're practicing grace daily, mercy daily, compassion daily, speaking with sincerity daily, releasing negativity daily, healing daily. You're practicing all these things, this mastery daily in everything that you do. And it's something you're doing naturally, intuitively, actively. You're already doing it. It's just time for you to recognize with awareness that is what you're doing. So beautiful energy that we have for you, group 4. This is probably one of the most powerful readings I've had in quite some time, so it's really exciting. So I really hope that resonated. If it did not, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. So I really do hope you enjoyed the energy and the vibe of this reading, and I'll catch you next time, group 4. Bye bye.